Good afternoon to all of you, and I'm Nitesh Sharma from APL Logistics, working as a manager of application development and based in Singapore. It's a pleasure to welcome you in today's session. Here for today's session, joining me is Chinmaya and Anurag from KSAP. They are very well-known established names in the logistics space. And this is just a post-lunch session, and we'll try to make sure that you don't take a nap during our session. So they'll be helping us in having this journey together. Now, to start with, can you move to the next slide, please? Next one, please. Yeah. So first of all, I think let's discuss on how exactly we got here, and then what exactly we want to showcase today, and what is our journey until now in APL for OTM. Today, we'll be discussing on how we implemented our key technological enhancements in OTM landscape to address some critical business challenges. Okay, so first I will start with the introduction of APL, where we just give a brief about our journey in OTM. So our company, APL Logistics, basically is one of those companies which works behind the scenes. Yet we are driving force that ensures that products reach their destination efficiently and reliably. We are talking about a global powerhouse with over 7,000 employees, orchestrating highly complex supply chain across major industries such as automotive, retail, and consumer goods. So we want to make sure all our customers, whatever they are expecting from us with respect to the supply chain, we deliver up to our fullest of extent. Now, to begin with our journey in OTM, our journey in OTM started in APL Logistics around 2008. And we started with the initial implementation of optimization. But over the years, the system evolved, expanded. Since we are a global logistics company, we have implemented this product across region, different countries, and based on the need of each of those regions, we will try to figure out a solution in OTM. As the system evolved and expanded, eventually it has become the backbone of our global logistics operation. It was managing everything from planning to execution to visibility. Now, as the time progresses, as the timeline shows, that the growth came the complexity. While our OTM remained a powerful tool, its increasing intricacy began to introduce challenges. And that's where the real issues started to surface. As our business expanded and operation becomes more intricate, the very system designed to streamline our work, OTM, began introducing what we call as a digital friction. What we mean by digital friction is that instead of simplifying the processes, it started to slow us down, creating some level of inefficiencies and user frustration. Now, to elaborate more on the digital friction part, the challenge was on both sides. One is an internal challenge, the other is an external challenge. Our internal teams, when they were using the application, they were facing multiple things, multiple challenges, or struggling in multiple areas. It was a difficult thing for them to perform a certain tasks. The number of steps which they were taking was more than what they should be taking. Extracting data to generate a report or to share with the customer was a bit complex for us. the flexibility was less, and it was also prone to errors and inefficiencies. The real-time visibility was also virtually kind of non-existent for us, and it was very much difficult for us to understand what was happening across the operations at any given point of time. Now, what was the result of this kind of challenges? Our operation team, especially the employees, were frustrated, and our supply chain was not that running smoothly as it should be. The friction did not stop here, basically. It extended outward as well. Means our customers and partners had no easy way to get quick answers. Basic inquiries like, what is the status of my booking? Was triggering a kind of like an endless loop of email chains, slow responses, lack of clarity. So it was not just inefficient, it was also putting our customers' relationship at risk. And that was a far more bigger challenge for us. The question came, how do you fix a problem that is causing a pain on both the sides, internally as well as out in the market? To answer those questions, basically, we turn to a technology partner ecosystem and exploring solutions within our existing application landscape, which can be leveraged to tackle these challenges head on. In this session, we will talk you through the approach we took. And with that, I'll hand it over to Chinmaya and Rag to take you through the next part of our journey.
Okay, so we all love OTM, right? That's why we're here, right? Not to offend any of our WMS friends. This is an OTM paper, that's why I took the liberty of saying we love OTM, right? Now, many of us know that OTM, before it got acquired by Oracle, used to be Glog, right? Can you go to the next screen? I have a simple question, or how much love you have OTM for OTM, right? Can anyone identify this screen? From which version of Glog was it from? Anybody? 5 dot? No. No. Any more guesses? You have prize? No. And this is taken from one of your DHL slides. Any more guesses? This is from 3.7. Okay? And if you see from this slide, right, from the screen, right, on the left side menu bar, right, the core OTM functionality or Glog functionality still exists today, right? What fundamentally changed is the UI. The one thing that changed is the UI. You still have the same status indicator, your smart links, your menus, all those things are still there intact, right? So today in the morning session, right, with Oracle, one of the product strategy roadmap is to focus on the UX, right? This has always been the case, right? User experience is very important. And that also drives the user adoption, the efficiency, and the principle of using the system for the benefit of the customers, right? So if you see, in case of APLL, right, the core problem that they faced is, even though OTM served them very well from a logistics application point of view, they've invested heavily, and they're using OTM for almost everything from planning, order management, to shipment execution, as well as invoicing, right? But there was a problem, right? OTM, being a very niche and superior product, has capability that they were able to utilize, leverage in certain markets as is, right? Like the tendering, that the way it works in US versus the tendering that works in Europe are completely different. So in order to create a one-size-fit-all, it's very difficult. You have these challenges with the users, and that's where that friction that Nitesh was talking about, right, started creeping in. And to address that, we had to go and see what solutions that can be brought into the customers or the users that kind of helps them to do what they would like to do using the system without any concern or friction, right? And this is where the discussion started, what to use. You are invested in OTM. There are a ton of other solutions available. You could do Java-based solution, other type of UX solutions and all that. So what we felt was innovating inside the box, right? You are invested in Oracle. There are solutions available within the Oracle ecosystem that can be leveraged. And that is where we started analyzing what can be done using some of the Oracle's UX and other digital solutions that can be brought into this platform. And that's where, next screen please. That's where we felt that Apex, the Oracle Apex, and the Oracle Digital Assistant, this combination works well for the client. It has got the functionality, the modularity, and the ability to connect both through REST API and database connections to provide that kind of seamless experience enabled by Oracle, KSAP's technology expertise, right? We kind of brought in these two solutions together to address both their internal challenges as well as the external challenges, right? So with this, I will hand over to Anurag to talk through some of the key salient features of the solution that was built both in the Apex as well as in the ODA. Anurag.
Thank you, Chinmaya. Next slide, please. So essentially, the key capabilities of Oracle Apex, right? It's a web UI builder essentially, and you can use it to build a lot of different applications and useful applications for your organization. What it allows us to do is that we can build those KPI dashboards. Now, you would ask, this Apex application on top of OTM database? Yes, that is how this has been built. We used OTM data to actually build the KPI dashboards. Then the data export tools, it allows you to export those data into the CSV format or an Excel format. The custom actions, some of those actions does require bulk operations, which are not very intuitive in the OTM application. We used Apex to actually do that, like drafting of the emails or the generation of the documents and storing or sorting those information. Then essentially, when we go to the next slide, please. So it allows us to take that information which is present in OTM. Being a global logistics service provider, they had tons of containers moving across drayage and ocean, and we wanted to capture all those information and show those current statuses of what is happening on the ground. And to do that, it provided us a real-time information out of OTM, build the dashboards and provide that information to the internal users. So when Nitesh was talking about internal and external, Oracle Apex is primarily catering to the internal users who are actually using OTM application to track all of this information within the landscape. So when we look at the data, right, this is all going to be what is on water, how many empties are returned, what type of containers I'm using. All of these metrics are actually being fetched from the OTM database. It's not a cloud database, it's a hosted OTM database, and that's why we are able to connect it and fetch those information. Although the technology stack which we are using, I'll share that in a few minutes, but it is fetching all that real-time information and giving that information to the end user to provide right information to the customers or to the other management. Okay, so this is even better. Now, if I go further in detail, if you see the metrics, right, now it is more expanded and zoomed in. If you see my vessels on water or empty return at terminal, this information is available, can be used. It also gives me all the events which are happening on the actual movement which is on the ground. So when I look at this, right, these are some of the different dashboards or KPIs which we have built, and it actually captures all those information, which is what is happening right now, what is going to happen in the future, and what has happened in the previous weeks. So users can actually see this, can download this, and use it for the further evaluation or analysis. But we had to build something which is real time. We had to build something which provides information immediately and help them move forward. So this is a more zoomed in version of that slide, where you see missing job file numbers is there, or the commercial docs are there, or missing ATC numbers are there. These are all different ones which we are continuously capturing, and it is giving that information week by week basis to the future also. So I can act on the information which is available now and address them for my future logistics. The second one is a data exported. So essentially at the end of the day, somebody really wants to download that information into the Excel format so that they can use it, share it, manipulate it in terms of representing it right. So to download this one, essentially Apex provides capability to immediately download these files in different format. So I could search something, let it come up on the screen and download them into different formats of usage. So I could do a CSV download and let it be on my system and then use it. This is a little different than OTM export. So OTM does have an inbuilt export, but essentially since we are capturing these metrics in the analytical form, it provides them the first-hand information of that analysis itself, and then they can further use it to enhance it. The third capability which we are using here is the custom actions. So as an application, it does have a bulk action which we can actually use to generate those documents which are required, the mail drafting, the sorting, and etc. things. So I'll show you an example of it, which allows us to search everything and pick them up to run the custom action on the screen. So there's a bulk action which you can do on the Apex screen itself. And this layout, when I'm showing you this, right, just see that it is actually using OTM database or OTM information only. It is not something which is capturing something out of the OTM database. And the last one is the uploading of documents itself. When you go to OTM and you upload the documents, it's really a longer process. It's a very good process, but really a longer process versus when they are already in the Apex. They can just pick up the container numbers and start uploading those documents, which essentially they can upload multiple. And I'm going to show you something in a bit which essentially address the external user problem of the documents upload. And I've already covered the custom actions and the bulk actions, so I can do a lot of files upload. But if you look at the way we are doing it, is actually we are using OTM. It's an on-prem OTM, which is hosted in OCI. And in that database, we do have something called as ORDS, which is Oracle REST Database Services. That allows us to connect it using the REST services. We use that public gateway and bring that information using REST API to Apex, which is actually showing all of this, the metrics and information. So now, when I look at the Oracle Digital Assistant, so while we were addressing earlier the internal user problem, we wanted to also look at the how we can communicate it better. That friction which we were having with the internal user and the external user is something which we have addressed with the ODA. So there are two things which we are doing here, and of course we are in a process of enhancing it further because we have started small and moving forward. One is the booking inquiry itself, which uses the natural languages, so user can communicate what is the status of my PO number, and this is the PO number I'm entering, what is the current status of it, and then it allows us to do the document uploads for those shipping requirements. So let's look at the way it is done. So if you look at, at the bottom right corner, there is an initiate chatbot. So on the portal itself, now we do have a button called initiate the chatbot. It is using the Oracle Digital Assistant. So when it is started, it asks for your PO booking number specifically for verification. So once you give your booking number, it goes further, it validates it and says, oh, yeah, it's a valid booking number from our system. Let's now move on to the valid PO number. So when you enter the PO number, it completes my validation on the second right-hand side of it. It completes my validation and say, this is your current status. The booking has been submitted and currently waiting for documents. Then it says, please upload your documents. And the documents which are required should be in PDF format and such. Those instructions are provided to the end user. That user actually comes back and presses a button to say, proceed to upload the document at the bottom. When this happens, it pops up a window, gives them all the options to upload those documents. And finally, when the documents are uploaded, clicks the submit, and then finally, it has an inbuilt virus scanner for the files, which scans the files and says these are now confirmed, your documents are uploaded, your process is complete. Now, when I talk about this, right, why we are doing it this way is because we have reduced that back and forth communication between the end user, external customer, and the internal user. Earlier, there were a lot of different gaps. You were having an email communication which was missed. My delayed response from the internal user to the external user was happening. There were a lot of different gaps which are happening, and our commitment is really to give that information as soon as possible, as when I need it. I should not be waiting for somebody to provide that information. And that is what this ODA is allowing us to do. It is allowing us to really use the technology stack, fetch the information which is already available in the system. It's not that it is not there. OTM is already having all the events with all the booking which are present. But essentially, we wanted to bring that information to the end user accessibility, and that's what this ODA is providing us. It is helping us to do it. Now, what was before, and that's where the friction was, everybody was accessing it using directly an OTM portal. So they were logging into OTM and they were trying to fetch that information. But then now we have the ODA, which is primarily taking care of the communication with the OTM in the natural languages. They can just put in their order number and booking number, and they get that feedback to say what you really need. Is it a document update? Is it processing successfully? Is it already on the water? That status will come back in the ODA. And gradually, we wanted to also do integrations between these so that we can reduce some of these communication factors which are happening. So that's a work in progress. We'll get to a future state very soon. So that's it.
Finally, after all this effort, what is the actual payoff? Let's take a look at what happened when we transitioned from a state of constant digital friction to one of the smooth and intuitive flow. For our internal teams, the impact was immediate. With the new Apex interface, workflows became far more streamlined. With our real-time data now at our fingertips, we were able to make faster and smarter decisions, directly boosting the overall efficiencies. Operations knows what to be done and when to be done. It's not a surprise. When a tool becomes easier and more effective, people are happier using it. User satisfaction rose sharply as the number of clicks were reduced. The steps required to complete the task are dramatically reduced. The daily struggle with the system was finally gone. On the customer-facing side, the benefits were just as clear. The digital assistant transformed the customer service by delivering instant answers, and in the process, reduced cost of our support teams. Customer gained a level of visibility they had never experienced before, all through a simple conversational friendly chat interface. And this brings us to a final thought. Our journey at APL Logistics demonstrates that meaningful transformations doesn't always come from a massive, expensive overhauls. Sometimes the most powerful innovations are the ones that make technology more human-friendly. Tools that simplify complexity, empower the teams, and give customers the clarity they deserve. By reducing friction and creating the flow, we not only improve the efficiency and satisfaction internally, but also strengthen the trust transparency with our customers and partners. That's the real payoff. A smarter, smoother, and more connected logistics ecosystem, one that's ready to grow with the future. Innovation is not always about building bigger systems. It's about building smarter, more human-friendly ones.
Thank you.